Hey everybody, Mike Lowe here, simsportsgaming.com. We are on episode 8 of this Tigers franchise, streaming twice a week, Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. and Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. So thanks for tuning in and checking us out. And again, you can find more information about this franchise stream, other franchise streams, other really anything related to franchise gaming at simsportsgaming.com. We run some different leagues for console games, but also primarily texting games is how we got started back in 2015. And we've been running some leagues daily ever since then, a lot of them in actual real time. And we do have some openings. I think the one I'll plug really quick at the beginning, if you've ever played front office football or have ever wanted to try and play something that's far more advanced than Madden, even NFL 2K, games like that, check out front office football. Really, really great game. And we have a league there, again, running in real time. So we sim once a week. And it's using front office football. And this week, of course, we have our NFL draft. We do have some openings in that league. And so if you wanted to kind of jump in at the right time here in the off season and pick your first overall pick or something like that, we have first overall picks actually on the trade block this week. 49ers have the pick in this league. And so anyway, check that out. There's an application on the website you can fill out that will get in touch with the commissioner and they'll get you set up. But here, of course, we're talking about MLB The Show, and we are continuing this Tiger franchise, and we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk a little bit about sliders, specifically the timing slider, because I had a pretty good question come up in the thread on Operation Sports, which, by the way, if you're looking for the sliders themselves, they are up in the vault. 1.5 is the most recent version, and that's exactly what I'll be using in today's stream. So no changes as of yet. And the details of those sliders are up on Operation Sports in the MLB The Show slider forum. So you can check that out there. And you can follow me on Twitter at MikeLowe47, and you can follow Sim Sports Gaming on Twitter as well. Just search for their name and it should pop up for you. So yeah, let's jump into it. I do want to kind of talk about a couple things before we jump into the game. First, starting to see a couple potential players pop out for the first overall pick. We're still a good month away, at least. I'm exactly a week ahead of what the real MLB schedule would be right now. We're a little bit more towards the end of April, but we're about a month away for the draft still. So still plenty of scouting to do. But first, I did have a question come in on the Operation Sports forum, and it was asking about specifically the timing slider. And it said something, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was something of the effect like, hey, I've noticed ever since we've raised like human contact and human timing and even human foul frequency, I'm starting to see more hit variety. Like, this is really, really cool. I agree that it's really, really cool. I will say, though, I don't really think that's why it's happening. I don't think hit variety is coming from the increase in human timing. Here's what is happening, though. It's just more contact, right? So it seems like more hit variety, but you're really just seeing more hits of everything. It'd be like if I was only giving you 5 jelly beans, and you're saying, oh, there's not enough of the red jelly beans. But if I gave you a bag full of 300 jelly beans, you of course are going to see more red jelly beans, right? So I think that's probably what we're seeing here. So again, really, really good feedback. And I've seen some really great posts and questions come through Twitter. I've seen some on our SSG Discord and of course the Operation Sports slider thread itself. So again, really good questions. And I wanted to talk about that because these sliders aren't complicated. Like, I know a lot of people get intimidated with slider sets, and especially with MLB The Show and especially baseball, because it's probably the toughest game to really kind of narrow down. And if it's not the toughest game to narrow down, it's the sport with the kind of the highest expectations, right? We have the highest standards for really getting baseball stats right. And it's tough, even in this game. It can be really, really tricky. And so, but they're really not complicated. At first, the game does a really good job of these sliders doing what they say they do. They're not backwards. They don't have to be loaded in some silly like main menu. They're very, very straightforward. They work as they intend. So an increase to human timing, what it says up there, again, a bigger window will reduce misses and fouls due to bad timing. And really, it's just going to increase contact overall. And so again, they're really, really straightforward. I encourage people all the time. It's probably the most common thing I post in replies, whether it's Twitter or OS. And it's just saying, hey, try it. Like, if you take human timing and you click it up or down a notch, it's not going to break anything at all. Any of these, none of these. You can change any of these. I would say, and this is what I do, is don't change really. I mean, once in a while I'll change a couple things at a time because I'm just comfortable doing it. I've done this for so many years. But if you're just starting to dabble in tinkering with sliders, just adjust one thing. And understand, even if you lose 10-0 or you win 10-0, it might mean jack squat for that particular game. It doesn't mean anything's broken. Sample sizes are still very, very small. I'm only, I don't know, 20 something games into this season, and it's really too far. I mean, I am basing these not just off of my gameplay, but also the feedback I'm getting from others, and that's where it's really helpful because my 20 games can turn into 120 games very, very quickly by seeing what other people are seeing. And if I'm saying, oh yeah, I'm seeing that too, and I guess maybe that's an issue this year, and it definitely helps with those sort of things. And there's other things I see that I just don't think is right, or not that it's not right, but I don't see them. So I've had some people this week too talk a lot about, hey, I think human starter stamina, or really stamina in general, needs to go up, and I don't think so. And I use pitch effectiveness very, very high on almost every pitch. Um, but I think it's just about right. A lot of pitchers are gassed at 100. We can make the argument that maybe the game shouldn't punish you so much for using a guy who's very tired, because we see, mound visits and things like this in the majors where the player fights through it. And think about a workout you're doing, whether it's like a run or you're at the gym lifting, and you're tired, but like you have adrenaline sometimes, you can push through, right? And so I don't really think the game maybe does a good enough job, I guess, representing that. So again, if you feel you wanted to put human starter and relief stamina up to 6, go ahead. It's not going to break anything. It'll still play really, really well. If you think it's too friendly, you can put it down to 4, and same thing. So again, it's not going to make or break anything. Just understand that you can definitely tweak some things. And again, we're all a little bit different. I know some people are sticking with human contact at 5, and I would probably stay at 5 if I weren't using the Tigers. I mean, they're pretty bad. And so to kind of keep myself, just from bottoming out in the bottom of the league in a few things, I've kicked this up to 6 for now as I continue to tweak my hitting approach and just me getting better at the game and whatnot. So again, just wanted to talk about that. I know some comments are popping in right away, so let me jump in here and see. Yeah, hey everybody, just a lot of hellos. Yeah, I'm glad 1.5 is working well. Yeah, but again, it's, 2 games in, Daniels, and they're working well, but again, 2 games isn't a whole lot. Yeah, Miami is going to definitely be tough. 5-11 with Miami, that's realistic. It's going to be tough to play all 162. Good luck. Yeah, I like the middle of the road approach. Honey Badger is saying I like to use middle of the road team, but is also using a team that's a little bit closer to being competitive. Yeah, I'm not getting a ton of homers. I'm still last in homers, but I'm glad you guys are. And again, the Tigers just don't have a lot of power. Miguel Cabrera doesn't have any power against righties this year. I mean, he hasn't hit 20 home runs in like 3 years in real life. So it is not a far-fetched thing that we're looking at here. So cool, cool. All right, so good feedback here. Hang on, my phone's just freaking out a little bit. I'm trying to get this fixed up. There we go. Okay. So, all right. So the other thing, so I got through those comments there. Sorry for the delay there. I'm just making sure I didn't miss one. Yeah, the Dodgers are going to give you a different experience than they would the Tigers. So again, just as I was talking about in the beginning, go ahead and tweak them. Put like I would right away probably say if you're a pretty good player at this and you're using the Dodgers, don't put human contact at 6. Put it at 5 at the most. Off the top of my head, you could probably after that, if you're using the Dodgers, and again, if you're an above average or better player, you could probably move human solid hits down to 4. I would put contact at 5 and solid hits at 4. Again, guessing just off the top of my head. Yeah, they're going to be a team, but again, still sample size though, because the AI is pretty good. I mean, they will pick up what you're doing and some of the adjustments that you're making and whatnot. I need to set this or no, it is already set for simulating. So anyway, next topic, so one of the big things that's going to keep this stream interesting is because I don't know if can the Tigers stick around? I mean, first giving you a look here, we're 12-15. We we got shut out the last game after winning 2 in a row. So I'll show you the calendar here in a little bit. But again, it's going to be kind of a little bit of rebuild stuff, which I'm usually not a huge fan of because I think it's just a very tired, overdone topic. But of course, this is a team that has been in a transition for a number of years. So, first overall pick, I mean, this is a huge focus for this team because, of course, we have the number one overall pick this year, and we don't want to mess it up, right? So, scouting in this game could really take its own entire video, but I will just say there are a couple players that I'm optimistic on that we've been scouting. I've started to get into pictures a little bit more since the last few streams. Because we need to do our due diligence. If there's some pretty good hitters, but we're not scouting these, potential like just Hall of Fame type pitchers that are out there, we need to take the best player. I don't care if the Tigers are pretty stacked at starting pitching. I will still take a pitcher number one if we find somebody. So we have a guy here, Phil Ham, who's interesting. There's probably one thing here I don't really care for with Phil Ham, maybe a couple. I love his stamina. His hits are serviceable. I love his Ks per nine. I love his control and his base on ball per nine. That's really nice in this year's game. Those make a huge difference. Even pitching with a guy like Jordan Zimmerman, who's got really good control, I can feel it, even with the sliders being as low as we have them. His home runs per nine against serviceable. So this is a guy like he's a little bit like a Justin Verlander when you look at these ratings. He's a guy Verlander's going to have a higher hit per nine, but Verlander's always been a little bit susceptible to home runs. He's always thrown so hard in his career. But again, it's very very similar stuff here. He doesn't have that curveball that Verlander has, and but they're pretty similar. The two big differences here: one, he's only 6 foot, and that's not probably a huge deal, especially in a game. But he doesn't have a really, really, he's already pretty filled out for a 20-year-old, but he's got a little bit of he's not very tall for a starting pitcher. The biggest thing, though, is his velocity. He only throws 88 miles an hour. Now, he has a velocity potential of 75. So, again, could this increase? You would think so. He's 20, but still, even usually 20-year-olds, if they're going to throw harder, are throwing much harder than that. At that point in their development. If he was 18, wouldn't be super worried. But again, even top prospects are going to still be throwing pretty darn hard even in high school. So, but again, hey, if you're getting the job done, Greg Maddux had a Hall of Fame career and threw around 88. So it's certainly possible. So Phil Ham's the guy we're looking at. Plus he's just got a cool name, Phil Ham. The other guy, this is a guy who just popped up the other day. We're in the midst of scouting him. So again, the scouting report's kind of all over the place. It's kind of jumped down a little bit because I think he was like a 80-70 when I'm talking about here, right? So 80 potential, 70 overall. But that always kind of fluctuates as you're scouting. But this guy, Steve Joseph, is the most like computer generated name. He looks like he's 78 years old. But other than that, he looks pretty promising. He actually reminds me a little bit of CJ Cron, who's on the Tigers currently. Just a big bopper, even though Cron hasn't done crap for me. But he's got the potential. He's got a really nice arm, which you'd like to see in a right fielder. He's got pretty good range. He's a really good outfielder, honestly. He's a very, very good outfielder. He can also run the bases very well. His plate vision and plate discipline are a little bit rough, and of course we can't really see his clutch. But this is a guy who we could definitely use a power hitter like this. And I like that he can play defense too. If picking a guy number one overall, this guy is definitely in consideration for it. I really, really hope that we see a little bit more of these pop and trend upwards for him to be a consideration. So I would still probably put, as things look now, Phil Ham above him and just really hope that velocity can increase. But again, he's got some limits too, right? Hit per nine and home run per nine, a potential of 60. By the way, has anybody noticed when I hit square, it does this? Does anyone know what that is? Is that just me like unscouting? Like, let's see. No, it still says we're scouting him. Like, I don't know why when you hit square, there's no like key here. It doesn't tell me what square is doing. Does anyone know? But I hit square and it just takes away. I think what it's doing is it's trying to switch to the hitting ratings, but it's just not showing you. Because look at like velocity and break don't go down as much, but they do change. So to me, is that like durability and like bunting or something like that? Or like what is that? So anyway, kind of a weird thing. So let's see. Yeah, I am a little excited for the draft. I mean, it's a little different in baseball. I mean, this isn't like the NFL draft that we're going to see this week, where players can walk on day one and make it, make an impact. And um, so yeah. Oh, thanks guys for helping out with the user control stuff. I don't want to take time on the stream talking about that, but there's a video up on the YouTube, the SSG YouTube. So take a look at that. Auto fielding, definitely recommend it this year. Definitely. Trust me, guys, every year I always start the testing. I always start it at default, right? I try to do some due diligence and just say, hey, maybe they updated some things. Um, they rarely do, honestly. I mean, there's obviously things they do, but like for instance, like the pitcher stamina stuff hasn't changed for years. But a lot of it they don't need to. The game's pretty damn solid out of the box. So, but I always start on default. I always start with manual fielding. This year it's rough, as you guys know, and I luckily don't have to deal with any of it. Plus, it adds a lot of drama. I know it doesn't sound very fun or interesting, but just try it. It's one of those things I really, really think once you try it, it's like, oh, this is cool. Because like fly balls are hit, and I'm always like, oh man, I'm sweating. Like, please stay in the park. And then your guy settles under it, and it's like, whew, it really makes you feel like a pitcher. So it's a lot of fun. Am I excited for the draft in real life? Oh, absolutely. Super, super. It's like the only sport thing we have. So, yeah, I am super, super excited for the draft. Plus, it's just an interesting year for the Lions. So, anyway, Phil Ham, I still think though, if I had to pick, if the draft was right now, and this is the only information I had, I still think I might go with Charles Dawson. He's 21. He can play a number of positions. He can play the infield and play it pretty well, especially for first. He's got a nice arm for catcher. I wish we could see his blocking rating. We can't. But at the very least, he can, again, I think he'd be a unique thing because like he could play first, stay rested all week, and then on Sundays he could sub in and be my starting catcher that day. So it frees up a roster spot basically, which is really nice. You could keep like an extra like pinch runner or something like that on the team, and of course he can play really really nice left field. I mean he's more than a left fielder, so really really nice arm out there. So again, if I had to pick right now, I really think I would take Charles Dawson. He is fully scouted. He's got an 80 potential. You look at his current ratings. Now, weird. When I hit square on this guy, it doesn't. Oh, because he's a hitter. Yeah, I'd say it doesn't do anything. But this guy could like play right out of the box pretty much. He wouldn't be great, but he's already better than like a Travis Demeritte, at least in ratings and things like this. So he's 21. He'd be 22 next season. I mean, this guy could play right away. Injury risk low, so he's going to have high durability. His hot zones, I mean, I do look at those a little bit, but I'm still going to just take the best guy. So I still think Charles Dawson right now would be my top pick there. So again, that's what's going on with the scouting. As for the Tigers, since our last stream, so we streamed on Wednesday, we got shut out. We've had 3 of our last 4 games have been shutouts. Look at this. So the Yankees have just really kicked our ass. They won the first 3. We finally came back and got a shutout of our own. And we had a little momentum going. We beat the Padres 5-2. And then we lost to Paddock, who was just awesome. Like, oh my God, he just destroyed us. So kind of working backwards, we had just 5 hits. They had 12 hits. But everything's looking really good. Like batting average, ball in play. I mean, the one thing that's not looking good is just my home runs. But some of that, I'm just not squaring balls up that well. Number 1 and 2, we just don't have a lot of power. We're just not a very good team. Like I know someone in that slider thread was talking about how they've been using San Francisco, and I used San Francisco last year, and again, not a lot of power. So like if you're like, oh, I'm towards the bottom in home runs, like well that's your team. Just like now if you were the Yankees and you were 28th in home runs, I'd say, well, maybe you're playing on too hard of a difficulty for yourself, or this isn't the slider set for you or something. But Miguel Cabrera has been playing a lot better. He's been on some nice hits lately. So that's been good to see. But you can see it's just, I mean, we have such a hot and cold lineup, right? Jonathan Scope and CJ Crone have been pretty disappointing so far, and it sucks because we're really relying on these guys. We don't have any power anywhere, not even Cabrera. I mean, looking through like yesterday's lineup, which is pretty standard, Christian Stewart's got power, but he just hasn't been hitting, so I can't really bring him up. Goodrum's got power, but his contact's terrible. Maven's got a little bit against righties, actually more than against lefties. So like all these guys have serviceable power, but we're just not doing it, And again, a lot of that's just me. Just again, I need to continue to improve, but I like the challenge, especially when I see other people are getting results. It just tells me like, hey, I'm kind of part of the staff here, right, with this Tiger team, and I have to do a better job of trying to get hits with these guys. Um, uh, Boyd has continued to struggle for us. So Matthew Boyd has continued to, and I realize it's his windup. I'm always early on his pitches, and he's just been getting rocked this year. I can't strike people out with him. But again, we've gotten really nice results from just about everyone else on the team. But Boyd's been rough. We've had a few others who have been rough, as you've seen in some other streams. So that was the most recent game, our most recent win. If we kind of if we bounce back to that. Sorry, I've been playing NFL 2K5, so I keep hitting all the wrong buttons because the back button in that game is triangle, and it's like totally messing me up. Let's view this box score. So that was so we had 9 strikeouts that game. They had 1 walk. They had, so again, home runs in both games for them. The last 2 we looked at. Let's see here. This was a game we just scratched across some runs. Look at that. No, or I guess we didn't. We had 1 home run, but that was it as far as extra base hits. So sac fly, we're able to push across 5. So a couple errors definitely helped. Let's see. We had 1 unearned run, so it didn't win us the game necessarily. But Jordan Zimmerman, though, look at this. He pitched awesome. This was his best game by far for us. Pitched really, really well. Started striking people out. And it was nice to kind of see. And again, same slider settings. I barely touched the pitching ones. It's nice to see him come out. And so what makes that happen, right? Yes, it is sample size. The other thing, though, is pitcher consistency. We have that pretty low. And so sometimes you just get a bad roll of the dice, and that pitcher is just going to be hot and cold, right? Or he's going to be cold. And so that's why I always say really try to have a good pulse on your pitchers early. You can usually tell kind of how a guy is going to be. And you can tell when you're batting, too. So, again, little things just to keep an eye on. Cedeno has been absolutely nuts for us. So good. Has not given up a run yet, knock on wood. Vizcaino, again, probably our all-star at this point. Definitely a guy that we're going to be probably moving at the trade deadline if he can keep this up and if he generates some interest. So not only are we looking at the draft in the stream, but really just kind of, and this is something the Tigers have done in real life, is signing guys like Leonis Martin and just kind of signing these like one and dones, right? I mean, they sign guys and then they move them at the deadline. And it's smart. It's one of the things I do like that Alavila has done with the Tigers. I am not the biggest fan of what he's doing with the team, but I think this year, it's a shame they're not playing because I do think he finally got a little bit more aggressive, trying to fill some holes and taking some shots on some players that are more than just like a Jordy Mercer. Again, CJ Crone, Jonathan Scope, guys like that. So, but God, the bullpen's so bad. And that's why I had to sign a couple guys there, Cedeno, Vizcaino, and Bard, who we claimed off waivers. So that's what's going on with the Tigers. We're going to go over league leaders probably on the next stream because that's going to be pretty much the end of the month. So we'll get a good look at this. And again, just like most of you, I've been tweaking the sliders. I've used all the different sets that I put up on what's it called, on the vault. So again, we've used all of those different things. So we'll get a pretty good look at all that. Oops, whoa, what's happening? Sorry. See, I'm pushing all the wrong buttons. I keep pushing the NFL 2K5 buttons because I was playing that this weekend a little bit. But anyway, while we're out here, let's go look at the vault. Let's see how version 1.5 is doing. I guess we'll look at ratings. So 1.4 has the highest ratings. 1.5 is falling behind in the ratings. So, but this is crazy. The top 5 highest rated ones are all in this set. So thank you, everyone. That's really cool. But I like 1.4. I like too. I would say, and I tried to even mention this a little bit. It's like if you were fine on 1.4, you probably don't need 1.5, but I would still recommend the pitching changes for those. But if you were good with hitting on 1.4, stick with it. It's really good. I'm truthfully probably like right in between one of these, but my team's been pretty rough, and I've been trying to tweak some different approaches in my swing, so I'm kind of rolling with 1.5. But 1.5 is good for sure. I mean, I think it's the best one, of course. But 1.4 and even 1.3, like these last 3 have been so solid. And that's feedback I've been getting from all of you. That's, again, the game just being really solid this year overall, minus the bad bullpen AI. And so But yeah, give that an upvote because I think 1.5 is going to really help a lot of people, and I think it'll get more people even interested in this slider set because it's a little more forgiving when you're hitting, but not much. Again, these sliders aren't like they're not huge increases. You're not going to really, you're not going to blow anything up by using something like that. So this is why you always keep backups and extra saves, right? In case you accidentally hit the wrong button and sim what did I even hit? Sim through the date. Oh yeah, and I was on a date. Yikes. So anyway, while we're here, let's simulate these games, and I am already at 5 complete games, so I may need to back out of this. I'm recommending to be at about 5 or so. Even that's going to be, if you have a month or two that's at 4, great. Because I think last year there was like 45 or so complete games in the majors. Not like this game that will give you like 120 or 130 on default. It's just crazy. It's been like that for years. Oops, what am I doing? It is really, really bizarre that they just won't tweak it. It's so easy. Like, we're able to tweak it with sliders. So think how easy it is for them to be able to tweak it. So we're still at 5. That's good. So today's pitching matchup, Dinelson Lamet, I think is how you say his name, versus Spencer Turnbull. Spencer Turnbull's been really good. He's really fun to pitch with. Again, for me, it's kind of all about their pitcher delivery. It really helps me with hitting their spots. And so let's take a look here. Let's take a look at our starter, Spencer Turnbull. Again, he's hot right now. That's nice to see. He's up to a 76 overall. Wow. He must be feeling pretty good. Yeah, he's pretty happy being in the rotation. So again, that definitely helps his performance. So he's good at keeping the ball in the ballpark. He's going to give up some hits. He's going to strike some guys out. And again, stamina, 72. And actually, I take that back. He's not going to be pitching today. I ended up skipping. I pitched Ivan Nova a game because all my guys were tired. So it's actually going to be Michael Fulmer today. On our next off day, I'm going to let that get caught back up so it's accurate. But Michael Fulmer will pitch today. He finally had a good outing his last game, but he's been pretty bad so far this season. Look at this strike-to-walk ratio. Horrendous, right? So 27 innings pitched. He's 0-2 on the season. He's coming back after missing all of last year, of course. But this is promising a little bit. I mean, his fielding independent ERA is much better. So that tells us a little bit. His home runs per 9 has been really good. And does that match up with his ratings? I mean, not really. He's not great at keeping the ball in the ballpark. So again, probably just a guy I'm struggling a little bit with his delivery. So it's something I'll try to keep an eye on. He's got nice stamina, so he should be able to go deep. And this Padres team is the worst offensive team in the league. They might be the worst team in baseball right now. I'm so pissed that I lost them last game. We just could not hit the ball. I was really hoping to sweep this series, but you have to be really careful not to let stuff like that get to you, because if I keep thinking about how I lost the last game, what's going to happen? I'm going to lose 2 out of 3 in this series. So you just really have to put that stuff behind you, just like in real life, right? Is just, hey, it's done. Let's move back. Let's move past it, and don't let it impact too many things. So, by the way, Chris Paddock, that's who we faced in the shutout. Just really, really damn good. His changeup was sick. It was so good. So he was a really fun pitcher to play against. Super good. I think I was at the game in San Diego when he had his major league debut. Was it his major league? I think it was, because it was the game where he had like a one hitter or something like that. Like he was awesome. It was such a cool game to go to. So whenever that, I don't know if it was his first start, maybe his first start at home or something. But yeah, I've really been a Chris Paddock fan. Just kind of casually watching the Padres and whatnot. So anyway, Dinelson Lamet, I think is how you say his name. He's going to probably strike some guys out, but we can put some power in the lineup here and maybe take advantage of that 50 home runs per 9. He doesn't have the greatest stamina. Again, he's going to strike people out. He throws a 97 mile an hour fastball. He throws a very nice curveball. So just a couple things to keep an eye out for. He's going to be tough to hit, but if we're going to score runs, let's try to get some guys on base with walks, and let's try to hit some long balls. I mean, that's how we're going to hopefully beat this guy. So, and again, just taking a minute just to kind of scout out the starter, it helps. They do it in real life. They do it far more than what we just did. They look sometimes even days ahead. Scouting is obviously looking days ahead, but I mean, this is where team meetings and stuff. This is why, why do ball players show up to stadiums, at 1 p.m. when the game's not till 7. That's why, right? I mean, it's stuff like that. They're stretching, they're getting, massages. It's It's team meetings. It's all these little things, right? And if you think that's silly, like, oh, showing up to work to get a massage. I mean, when your job is uh, physically demanding of your body like that, right? I mean, why would you not? It'd be like driving a race car and never changing the oil. So that's precisely why those sort of things happen, and I think it's very, very smart. And it's smart for the teams. This is why teams like have their own team masseuse. They spend money on this stuff because again, it's an investment, right? Yes, it costs them money, but it really saves them money in the long run by protecting, by the way, guaranteed contracts, right? So just little things to think about. Last plug I forgot to mention, I am finally going to be starting my NFL head coach '09. That's right, 2009. My NFL head coach stream this week. I might actually swap it out even on Wednesday night. If I'm waiting on an adapter to get sent in the mail because I don't want to go to the store and everything. I'm trying to do my best here. So there's an adapter that I needed to hook up the Elgato. And so once that's all set up, we're going to be starting that. So check that out for sure. Again, I'm hoping to do it Wednesday. I think it'd be really cool to do it like on the eve before the draft. And yeah, just trying to decide. I have a franchise already started with the Raiders, but I don't know if I want to completely start over with someone like the Lions or if we want to just continue. I'm basically at like week one. I've already done the off season for the 2008 season, right? But I've already done that and had my draft and everything. Drafted Chris Johnson in the first round and Kenny Phillips. We traded down from number 4. So anyway, so that's going to be starting up this week, though. As long as I can get that streaming device working, we'll be firing up the old PS3 and doing that stream, which should be really cool because I want it to be like a community involvement. Just as we were talking about like a team meeting sort of setup, I want it to be a really, really fun like GM simulation where we can kind of get in the chat and be like, hey guys, what do you think? Like, should we sign this guy? Should he be cut? Should we bench him? So it's kind of like I'll be the GM with a bunch of assistant GMs kind of in the chat each time. So I think that could be really, really cool. So we're going to jump into gameplay here in just a second. Let me just check the chat. It's been going crazy here. Yeah, head coach is such a good game, and I've been playing even NFL 2K5 a little bit this weekend. That's kind of been like my quarantine sort of thing is like just throwback games, right? And NFL 2K5 is fun. I was like, maybe I should do a stream series with this one, but like, this still has some of the best gameplay. I still actually think it probably has better gameplay than Madden. But like the off season still leaves a lot to be desired. Like when you enter the draft, it just starts drafting. And if you pick like 26, you start at the 26th pick. And it's like, no trades. I can't see who was picked. What the hell's going on? So there's like little quirky stuff like that. Head coach is so much better, especially for a stream. Because like really, to me, like gameplay is kind of boring, honestly, in a stream. Like if I want to, I can just go play it myself, right? But I think this sets up well, and that's why like with this stream, I like to start off and just kind of have some chat in the beginning, and if people want to watch the gameplay, ask questions about how I play or how the sliders are working, things like that, we can continue to do that. But that's why I always try to start the stream with kind of like the info in the beginning. At the very end of the stream, of course, even if you just wanted to click after the game, we do kind of the post-game analysis, which is where I get just about all of my input to tweak the sliders. So we'll look at all that. Oh, let's see. Oh my gosh, there's so many comments here. Let's see. I think a lot of you guys are just talking to yourselves, though. I really need to maybe I do need to get a moderator here. Because I would like to see the questions that are directed at me so I don't miss one. And I'm glad you guys are helping each other and chatting. It's totally 100% cool. I just can't find anything. Yeah, I mean, Madden does I shouldn't say a lot. Madden does some things right. It's still fun to play. And the draft's really cool. I mean, I think their draft's really, really good. But yeah. I do use cursor. Yep. I use zone hitting, but with the cursor off, I should say. So I guess, how do I say it? I use cursor, but it's hidden, the PCI. Which again, just as I recommend auto fielding, and I say, hey, try it before you knock it. Same thing with that. I got that from someone. I can't remember where I saw that. I saw someone on Operation Sports a few years ago saying, hey, this is great. You should try it. And I was like, that's interesting. And I tried it. And I was like, this is really, really cool. So it actually, I really do think it helps. If you're new to the game, I wouldn't do it. Like if this is your like first year and it's like, yeah, I'm like, I'm 5 games into my season, keep the PCI on because I think it's important to see the size of it or the shape that you chose. I think it's important for you to see the speed at which it moves. all those different things. But if you've been playing this game for years, you don't need it. It's like training wheels at this point. You don't need it. You already know how to ride the bike. So let's see. How do you use it when it's hidden? Yeah, you just, as I just said, you just get used to it. You just get used to it, and definitely check your feedback. The one visual thing I like to leave on is kind of the post feedback. The reason I leave that on is, again, it kind of simulates like video review. Again, another thing that players do when they get to ballparks early is they'll look at that starting pitcher and they'll look at their bats against them, and they'll study kind of the film. Obviously, I'm not going to do that for video games. I don't care that much. So I kind of say, hey, this is like the equivalent of like film study. I'm doing it like after each pitch, and it also helps me with adjusting sliders, and I think it would help you as well too. So, okay, let's see. All right, I think my phone's like going crazy on all this stuff here. Let's see. Hang on one second. Okay. Sorry, some life things coming through my phone here. Just need to take care of. There we go. Okay. All right. Well, it's game time. Let's see. God, I really, really want to take this series, right? Looking ahead, by the way, headed to New York. That should be fun. And then, wow, we're in the May. Guys, if you're doing a daily franchise, it's really easy to get through April. The game's new. It's exciting. May, still kind of exciting because you're probably still into it. Even with the 2 wild cards, I mean, most teams are still into it. You get the All-Star game. You get the draft in June. You get the hardest part is really like kind of like May, June, and like August, like these months. But if you hit like August 1, you're good. I mean, if you can get into that time, you are so close to getting through a whole season. So just a heads up, as you guys approach May, fight through it. It's tough. It's really, really, really tough. So anyway, again, just wanted to share that there. So we're jumping into gameplay. Gosh darn it. We've talked too much. So as I mentioned, we're going to skip, we skipped, I already explained this, but yeah, we're going to go with Fulmer today. Looking at the bullpen, just about everybody's available. Buck Farmer might not be. It's interesting. I've been using Jimenez and Farmer as kind of like a dual setup guy with Cedeno. So really, I have 3 setup guys, but it just depends where we're at in the lineup. Like I obviously use Cedeno if it's going to be like a lefty heavy inning, because most likely either the 7th or 8th usually is going to be lefty heavy, just how most teams are built. And then these guys will handle the righty heavy. So I don't have like a 7th guy or an 8th guy. It's just based on which I never understood why teams do that. And I like having a righty lefty setup for that reason. So to me, what I've been doing is these guys, as Jimenez kind of works his way back to form here because he's been off to a rough start, and he has a bit of a low home runs per 9. I won't put him in against like the heart of a lineup. He will just kind of not be the setup guy that day. It will be Buck Farmer, who has been pitching better and has a little bit more of a home run per 9. Again, he's going to just help us hopefully keep the ball in the ballpark. But Jimenez has been a lot better recently. He's been actually really good the last few times I put him in, so he's starting to rebound for sure. But our bullpen's been solid. Again, especially the guys I picked up. I'm really happy with Cedeno, Vizcaino. Daniel Bard's been okay. His job's just to kind of come in and get that 1 out, strike somebody out. And he's been doing that. So Michael Fulmer, though, I really hope he rebounds. As I mentioned, he missed all of last year with an injury. He was the Rookie of the Year in 2016. Hard to believe he's already 26. Probably a guy of the Tigers, if in real life, if he can pitch at all well, they will probably move him because you can see his service time is at 4 years, which means he would pitch this year, the year after, and then the year after that, he's a goner. And so actually, he'd only pitch 2 more years. He'd pitch this year and the year after. So he'd have 2 more years. So I really think the Tigers, to get full value, would look to move him probably at the deadline. They also have a ton of pitching in their system, and they need to clear out spots. They'll be able to clear out Zimmerman this year. They'll be able to clear out Fulmer, and they best be trading Matthew Boyd. They should have already traded him, but they did not. So again, he's 29. So I think in real life, Zimmerman's absolutely gone. But I think all 3 of these guys will be off the Tigers. And obviously Nova, 1-year contract. He's one of those rental players they signed. Daniel Norris and Spencer Turnbull. I like Spencer Turnbull a lot. I could see him sticking on the team. And I like Daniel Norris. He's better for me than he probably is in real life. So anyway, today's lineup, it is a Sunday, so I will be giving some players the day off today. Actually, quite a few players because we don't have an off day coming up. So this is our off day. But I want to keep power in where I can. So let's see, who else needs the day off? Keep scoping for today. Cameron Maven's going to come out for demerit. Harold Castro's been awesome and needs to be playing. He can come in for Reyes. That's fine. So now we just need to set up our batting order here. Jordy Mercer, and I need to adjust defensive positions. Demerit can play center, sure. Let's see. Candelario's been so bad for us. Somebody else I want to get in. Start Jake Rogers. Yeah, all these guys will get the day off as much as possible. Candelario is just going to bat last. Just trying to decide my order for here. That looks good. Just checking the defensive positions. Let's put Crone off his feet today. Yeah, that looks good. Alright. It's one of the things I like about this Tiger team is like my starters aren't very good. So like putting the bench guys in is just kind of fun. Because it's like, hey, they're all the same. I just have a bunch of bench players, basically. 0-2, 27 innings pitched. Only 15 strikeouts. Do you guys like commentary on or off? And I guess I should include myself. Do you want me to shut up during gameplay? I'll check, see if anybody has a huge preference. Commentary off. Okay, thanks, Daniel. Come on, phone. There we go. My phone keeps going crazy stuff. I think it's already off. Yeah, it's already off, so we're good. Okay, here we go. All right, we got to win this game. Got to focus. I haven't been to Comerica Park in forever. I think the last time I was there, I think it was the opening day 2016. Froze my butt off. I grew up in Michigan. I spent 25 years in Michigan before I moved. But living in the South between Austin, Texas and San Diego, your blood really does thin. I was so damn cold. I thought people were going to think I was like an alcoholic or like a drug addict because I was just sitting there. I was shaking. And it was only like 53 or something. But to me, it felt like it was like 11 degrees. It was so embarrassing. Remember at walking, I went up to the upper deck, looking all over for hot chocolate, and I just held it. I didn't even really want to drink it. I just held it in my hands because my hands were shaking so badly.
Leading off for San Diego, the right fielder will...
I think I'm in a minority. I don't really like the Padre uniforms. I like the color scheme. I don't really like this weird gray-brown that they're wearing. They wore a different one the other day. I guess the pinstripe one's okay. I like the pinstripe one. But I do like the color scheme. It's very cool. Alright, Michael Fulmer. They don't really have much as far as bats. I mean, Will Myers is one of their better players. They haven't batted leadoff. I need to throw more first pitch strikes. And I did the last game.
Nope. That's inside.
I nibble a lot on the first pitch, I've noticed. I've had a lot of games where I'm below like 50%. It hasn't impacted us too much, but it's just something I'm working on.
First pitch.
Off to a bad start.
That's in. Ball 2.
So he has a lot of movement on the two-seamer. That's usually can be a decent sign that he could be sharp today. But we can't have him throwing too many balls here. I'm just going to throw a four-seamer on the outside here. Here we go. Yeah, got lucky there. Left that a little too much in the zone. But battled back. There we go. Let's throw that slider. Usually get him a chase here. Oops, not there. So I was late on that one and held on to the ball a little too long. That's why it went outside like that. Yeah, we'll try it again. So again, don't be afraid to throw balls. They will chase balls sometimes. And it's going to increase your walk total. And I always recommend going full effectiveness on 3-ball counts, even on 3-0.
Grisham.
All right. Good job, Michael Fulmer. Off to a good start. So again, they're going to have a lot of hitters like this in there. At least they did yesterday and the day before. Let's try to get this first pitch strike here. Hey, I'm up to 50%.
Nope. That's
All right,
inside.
it's a good spot for this.
Nope. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Trivia question for you guys. Baseball strategy talk. There's the ball he chased.
Shooting count.
What do you think more like? What do you think you're better to give up as a pitcher? What do you think's, I guess, more beneficial for a pitcher to try and generate? Fly balls or ground balls? Like, what results in more outs? I'll give you the answer after I get this guy out, hopefully. Oops. That's a perfect segue. And it's actually fly balls. A lot of people say ground balls. Gotta get ground balls. Gotta get ground balls. And there's 4 infielders, but getting fly balls. And I'm not talking about line drives, but getting fly balls are going to generate more outs. At least historically they have. So fly balls, pitching up in the zone. Well, there we go. There's another perfect example. And that's exactly why, right? I mean, you can hit it. There's more fielders, but right, they have less time to get to the ball. The fly ball hangs up so long, even with 3 guys, you can usually get to it, right? Your best thing to do is just to get some really good, get a good defense behind you. Get a good defense behind you and let them hit fly balls. Now, there's a limit to that, right? You got to keep the ball in the ballpark. And that's where I'm so pumped that this game was it last year. Started incorporating real, home runs per 9 actually mattered. But pitching up in the zone, especially to guys who are like 50 power, or in the 50s or less, if you can, they're harmless. They're going to be harmless fly balls. And there's another one. That wasn't even up in the zone, but see, it just gets over to it. It's foul. Looking at his rating, so again, he's a good player. I don't necessarily want to pitch him up in the zone because he can hit it out. So yeah, we'll start looking at some breaking balls. Again, another late slider there. I'm going to throw the changeup.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now I'm actually going to try to... I want to try to get him to chase a fastball. It'll be a ball. Alright, good job, Fulmer. So don't be afraid to throw the pitches that they're good at hitting. You can't always just throw a dead red guy breaking balls. He'll still kill you. You average a lot of walks when you're batting? Yeah, you're going to see that sometimes. Again, it's just kind of but I bet this game, the simulation generates a lot of walks. So, even if you're getting a lot, you may still be the middle of the pack for the league. The other interesting thing about fly balls, and so this is one of the things the Oakland Athletics have been doing, right? Everybody kind of talks about what's the new money ball, what's it was on base percentage, and you're crazy if you think Oakland's still doing the same stuff they were doing in 2001, right? They are always staying ahead of the curve, but one of the things that they're doing, everyone wants ground ball pitchers, right? Because of course, they're going to, less home runs, things like this. But the way their ballpark is, they have a pretty pitcher-friendly ballpark, right? It's actually pretty similar to Petco, really spacious outfield, and Petco's just got the. They always say the wind's coming off the water. It's not coming off the water at all. It's the outfield's facing or the opposite direction of the water, but uh, it's it's having again fly balls, right? So what Oakland is doing is they are finding pitchers at value because everyone's overpaying for guys like I'm not overpaying. Garrett Cole's a great player, but like ground ball pitchers and things like this, they found another niche in the market that they can get again speedy outfielders, get fly ball pitchers who can keep it in the ballpark, especially in that ballpark, and that's one of their secrets. It's that easy. And by the way, they're getting those pitchers at a super discounted price, right? So they're kind of getting cast offs and things like this. So now again, if you're GM for the Colorado Rockies, you're not going to take that strategy. But just kind of an interesting little thing there.
Leading up for the Tigers, the shortstop, Jordy Mercer.
Inside, ball one.
I'll try to find the stats on the fly ball thing because, like I said, I know people are going to disagree, but I can prove it with statistics. It's 100%. It's against the traditional thinking, and again, that's why Oakland's cashing in on it. Another reason, errors, right? Fly balls they're never dropped by a major league player. Infielders, all the time, there's errors, right?
Ball, that's out.
But conventional thinking, has always been, ground ball pitchers is what you want. All right, trying to focus on hitting here. Square that up, but I like it. I always had that weird slider swing.
Batting second, the right fielder, Harold Castro.
Ball.
Got pretty good contact. His K per 9 is also pretty darn good. I'm not gonna run here.
Batting third, the first baseman, Miguel Cabrera.
11-game hitting streak somehow. A lot of like 1 for 4 days. I talked about his power against righties, right? 52 is not very good, especially in this ballpark. Although Comerica's been a much more hitter-friendly ballpark the last few years. When it was first opened, it was an absolute pitcher park. Right-handed pitching, yeah, it's kind of balanced, but lefties, it's a pretty nice park for lefty hitters. So we got man on first, 1 out. Ooh, bad swing.
0-1.
Man, I'm just swinging at that high fastball.
Inside, ball one.
It's tough because I start to press with this team because they're so bad. So you see something over the plate and it's like hard to lay off it. So I'm under that one.
That's ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
His fastballs look pretty fast. Some guys you may notice like they'll throw 96, 97, and it's like, oh, it's not that bad. His is quick.
Bullpen.
Well, do we try to open a hole for Miguel? I think I will here.
He's gone. That's ball 4. Take the base.
Batting fourth, the second
Well, it's just a
baseman.
bit of our game plan is to try to get guys on base and see if we can hit some home runs. But he has been just ice cold, still batting fourth. And some of that's just, again, small sample size. Guys have cold months all the time. You'll have guys who hit, 200 for a month or whatever. So I'm hoping this is just his cold month here.
Ball 1, no strike.
Ooh. Oh God, why do I keep swinging at that?
1 strike.
This is terrible swings. I keep doing it.
Ball in.
I just did it again.
Nope, that's ball 4.
I'm in a little bit of trouble here. This has been our
Batting
Achilles
fifth.
heel though all year. Did I adjust the sliders? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, we did. Okay.
Designated hitter, DJ Lowe.
I need to do a little mound visit with this guy. It's wild right now. Yeah, I almost turned on that. I want to bail him out though. Damn it.
2 balls, 1
He
strike.
knows it. He knows it. He knows I'm going to swing at that. And then not even come close. Thank God. Oh, and then the one I'm looking for,
2 and 2.
I think it's the slider. Oh, are you kidding me? And we didn't even score. I thought for sure that was down.
Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 14.
That's one of the tricky parts of this game, right? Is it's really hard to navigate three base runners. That's where I almost have thought about turning on auto base running. That would have scored me a run easily. But I had to send everybody back, and I just wasn't quick enough to get a 35 speed guy to score on that play. But yeah, that's a bummer.
All 1's the count.
Ooh, that is a nasty curveball. Oh, he's thrown 30 pitches already this inning.
No, that's bad.
Well, we're getting something to hit here. Trying to get Miguel a little extra step off second. He's still damn slow. Yes, sir. Oh, thank goodness. I'd have been so bummed if we didn't score this inning. Well, there we go. We talked about Christian Stewart at the beginning of the lineup. And I said he'd be a good matchup for the starting pitcher. He's got some power. It's our first grand slam of the year. Pretty sure. That's with power at 4. He's got about 60 or 61 power. And that was, what, a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Hold it. That's huge. Now he's got to make it hold up.
Batting 7, the center fielder, Trevin Demaret.
Well, that was exactly the game plan, right? Take some walks. Try to hit some home runs. Oh my god, and try to lay off the high and inside fastball when I'm not even looking up there. Power at 4, right? Routine fly ball. He's not a great hitter. Got nice potential though. Good job, Christian Stewart. On that one, I didn't move the cursor on the 3-1 just because I wasn't going to swing unless it was right there. I was just going to be content taking the walk. So I don't check comments usually when I'm batting. Yeah, so right, Ryan, that's what I was worried about. With the auto base running, they'll do stolen bases on their own, so it's just not worth it. So unfortunately, you might run into an issue like that. The other thing that's helped me, because I'll think about it now even with pass balls, is like sometimes I'll want one guy to advance, but not another guy, like say first and third, right? I want the guy to go to second. It sounds silly, but I'll try to think about it before a pitch. Like, okay, if there's a ball in the dirt, what am I hitting on my controller to move that guy at first? And there I should have just thought about it. It's just when I hit that ball, even when it was still on the camera shot of CJ Crone, and I saw that ball going into the gap, I thought for sure it was down. So I just sent everybody because all I was concerned with was like, let's try to score this guy from first. So I'm surprised he caught it. I'm glad he caught it. And maybe that's debatable because I did increase fielding speed back to default at 5. But it didn't seem unrealistic at all. Like that play just seemed like a really good play. Let's see who their right fielder is today. Oh, is it Will Myers? Is he actually in right field though? Let's see. How do we do this? Box score. So that was Will Myers. So yeah, he's not a great. I mean, again, it's not like it wasn't like a Willie Mays play or anything like that. It seemed okay. Oh, okay. So Ryan's saying there's no way to override them to make them stay. You can override and make them steal, but you can't tell them to like not steal. So that's wild. Okay. Anyway, gonna jump back. I really need to get someone to moderate this chat, because I want to answer questions if people have them.
The first baseman.
But this stream will go on for 4 hours, and my wife will get pissed if I try and read everything. So here's Eric Hosmer, much better against righties. This is the worst signing ever. He's probably my least favorite baseball player. Is that a terrible thing to say? It's just. It's nothing. I mean, let me rephrase that. I think he's the most overrated baseball player. When you base it on contract, things like that, and these are off the top of my head, so forgive me because I'm probably obviously forgetting some people like Jordan Zimmerman or Albert Pujols. I mean, Pujols' career, he deserves that money. But I would honestly say I really think Hosmer is my most overrated, and I'd probably put Bryce Harper as number 2. based on the money. Bryce Harper's a good player, but look at his career. Look at his WAR his last few years. That dude is getting paid way more than he's worth. Good player. I mean, you want him on your team, but yikes, you don't want to be signing those checks.
That's a ball.
Miguel Cabrera, he's on that list, unfortunately. But again, kind of like Pujols, like he's deserved it. He's lucky to have gotten it from Mr. Illich before he died. I don't think his son would have gave it to him.
Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 13, Manny Machado.
Yeah, and again, like overrated doesn't mean bad, right? Like it's not like Eric Hosmer is like a terrible baseball player. He's had his moments. He's got his roles, but the Padres have to be regretting that contract. And they're going to I mean, the Manny Machado contract they'll regret too, but I think he will play one more year at least with San Diego and then probably get moved.
Ball.
And that's a smart move. It's a smart move to sign him, especially if you can do that, because they'll still be able to turn him for some decent pieces for sure.
1-1.
He's always going to need a power hitting infielder. I mean, it's like a quarterback in football, right? There aren't very many good ones.
Count is 2-1.
All right, gotta focus here.
Hey,
What are his quirks? See, I'm not paying attention. That's how you get in trouble.
got him.
Batting seventh,
Yeah, they won't be able to get rid of Hosmer. I don't think at all.
Naylor.
That's cool. I'm glad Hosmer's waiting for or Hosmer's playing well for you. That's awesome. So here, Josh Naylor. And pitch one out. So you're not worried about him committing an error, right? Infielder, you never know. I'll have to find that stat though, but it is real. Again, fly ball pitchers who keep the ball in the ballpark are more valuable than ground ball pitchers, statistically, over the last 50 years of baseball or whatever. That's a statistical fact. Goes against the conventional thinking though.
Candelario.
But it's what Oakland's been doing. It's what Tampa Bay's been doing. Ooh, see that hit the mound? That was cool. Ooh, let's review that. That was pretty close.
Batting ninth, the catcher.
That was neat. That kind of ricocheted off the mound a little bit. It's a nice play by Tatis. Oh yeah, he's definitely safe. Really doesn't look much like Ron Gardenhire, does it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Tigers are challenging the previous play.
So, Jake Rogers is up, so not much power. Maybe let's try and look to hit the right field here, or not. Oops, get back. He throws so hard, I was just trying to tap that out the right field.
The batter, number 9, shortstop, Jordy Mercer.
Top of the order, Mercer has been a nice bench bat. Probably the last guy who actually made this team for me. But he's been pretty good filling in.
Nope, outside.
Get some hits today. We need them. Oh, goodness.
Now batting, right fielder, Carroll Castro.
Counts 1-0.
Another really good bench bat for us. Playing on Sunday here.
Ball, that's inside.
Hitting the ball today.
He's safe.
Now batting, first baseman, Miguel Cabrera.
I'm pretty sure this is the most runs we put up by the second inning all season. Maybe one other time. I think it is the first one though. Huh, so they did the mound visit and then the pitching change. That's cool. Bought a little time. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Now, so this is interesting. So usually this is where we go and we change the manager hook. We will take it and put it up to 8 at this point, but I'm going to leave it at 5 for now until probably at least the 5th inning, because I don't want them killing their bullpen by making all these crazy switches. And that's just, again, an asterisk when they go to long reliever or starter gets pulled really early. So no need to fiddle.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Padres.
Hey, he's got the same strikeout to walk ratio as
Higgins.
our man Michael Fulmer today. So righty's hitting a little better this early on. 21 innings pitched, so decent sample size. So this is a bat, right? Just kind of thinking kind of right field, right center. Fly ball would be nice. Very least, I mean, just about anything will score a run here to the right side. But we have a new pitcher, so take a look at him. Pretty standard repertoire.
I know.
Just a quick look at his ratings. He's pretty bad. But again, don't get overly excited. A little bit too long there. Oh, we had a bad break. That's gonna drop. So, okay, so there I was ready for it, right? I didn't care so much about the runner on second. I saw him going automatically back, and I just grabbed the runner on the
now
third.
back, second baseman.
That's fine.
Got us there. Go.
Finally scoring some runs today. We'll take it. We're definitely in the 25th or worst range in just about every offensive category. So,
Inside ball.
as you'd expect from the Tigers. I think when I took the team here, they were like ranked 28th pretty much and everything. So it's about normal. I knew it was gonna be a long season. But we'll have some fun. Ooh, good pitch.
I got a ball, 1 strike.
Oh gosh.
Count is 1 and 2.
Ooh. I tried to kill that. It's way too early. I gotta look for a little everything here. Look fastball, reactive breaking ball. Any standard stuff there. And then most importantly, lay off the junk. Ooh, good pitch. Not sure how I missed that. But I like that I missed that. So again, I think timing slider, foul ball, slider.
Now batting.
You
The
don't ever
designated
see
hitter,
miss. Like, watch where I mean, I was close to
DJ
this. I might have swung a little
Lowe.
early. Yeah, so too early. But if you saw in the corner there, right? That's a foul ball for sure in Diamond Dynasty and on default. So I like that those are swinging strikes, and they add up to a much more realistic game.
1-0.
Scope and Crone have just been super bad for us. Jeez. Oh gosh.
1-1.
I was swinging early at that.
One ball, two strikes to count.
These guys are just cold. I just can't hit with them.
That's out.
They'll come around though. Law of averages. They won't be this bad forever.
3-2.
Alright, well, I'll take 6-0.
Leading off
Daniel, I'm using default speed. And guys, sorry, there's 8 billion comments here, so next time I'll try to, somebody ping me if they want to be a moderator. Even if it's just like one, whenever, just something like that would be helpful. Cause I don't want to miss questions. I feel bad. You could also tweet me. Like I've had a couple people message here on Twitter. Let me just see if I'm missing anything. Oh, cool. Okay, thanks, Ryan. Here's the challenge, Ryan. I don't know how to even set up a mod. Is this something I can do like midstream here? If not, I'm not gonna take more than 30 seconds to look here. Let's see. Can I do this? So, oh yeah, okay. Ryan, I just added you as a moderator. Look at that. I'm not sure exactly if that's gonna help, but Ryan Hetzer. By the way, check out Ryan's awesome podcast. Long Gone. Ryan, you can put in the chat where to find it. I know it's pretty much available in a lot of different places. Spotify, pretty much most places you're going to find podcasts at. But Ryan does a podcast for the St. Louis Cardinals, covering the St. Louis Cardinals and also some gaming stuff right now, especially with all that's going on in the world. And there isn't St. Louis Cardinals baseball, so but I was a guest on Ryan's show 2 weeks ago, something like that. So yeah, but yeah, thanks for helping out. Thanks, Ryan. Awaken, yeah. This manager hook thing's weird. That's probably the hardest slider to like track, honestly. And again, because it's like shooting a moving target. Because again, with the slider in this game, the starter's getting rocked. So like, what does it really tell us? It was at default. They took him out at a pretty good time. If we put it up to 8, again, I'm worried that they take out their long reliever. Because really, I mean, to me, if I was down 6-0 and just getting mashed, I'm going to leave in that scrub for as long as I can and let everybody kind of just have an off day. And I think you all would probably do something similar. So that's why I haven't messed with it. So yeah, we'll see how it does on 5. I agree. It doesn't make as much of an impact. I guess, well, I'm glad most sliders don't have like a huge impact when you click them up one notch because there's only 10. I do wish manager hook mattered more. Because really, you could put it at 9 or 10 when they go to their bullpen, and as I forgot his name already. As Awaken said, it's not gonna really make a huge difference, unfortunately. This game, the biggest thing this game needs, there's no slider that's gonna fix their AI for bullpen. Their bullpen AI in this game is pretty bad. whether the team's winning or losing. They handle closers perfectly. They've always done a nice job, and I think they handle starting pitchers well enough. And certainly the sliders can help with that too. Like today's starter came out at an appropriate time. But the issue is like they never use high leverage guys. They rarely use their setup guys properly. And they're just not as strategic. And I know some people do the whole like they pause it and then they'll switch the team like this, and they'll do something like that. And that's probably smart. But like in the simulated games, it's the same issue. So like just to have it kind of right in my game seems kind of weird. And I don't want to go through and like quick manage every single game every single day. So, but it's something I've asked Ryden to ask that the San Diego Studios team. I've asked them, I've tried to ping him and say, dude, talk to these guys about their bullpen AI, man. It's so bad. And I know he's been in their ears, when he can. And but yeah, I think it's something. It's just the game's so damn good, and it's like there's only a couple of things that they really need to tighten up as far as gameplay. I would say that obviously, fielding fly balls has been a huge issue if you're not on auto fielding. But those to me are, I mean, the bullpen AI is the biggest thing for me because I use auto fielding and I'm okay with it. I like the suspense of it all. It's kind of fun. But man, the bullpen AI, it almost like ruins it. Honestly, it almost makes it where like, I don't really want to play this because it's just not anywhere near as good as it should be. So, and unfortunately, it's been like that for a while. So that's why I'm not super optimistic. And I think the biggest reason is that we manage our own bullpens in Play Now Online or whatever it's called versus online, and in Diamond Dynasty. So it's not an issue they really see. It's not really put in their face. But damn, they have such a good game, right? It would be so good if they could do that. Okay, so Ryan, it looks like you're set up. I honestly don't even know what this is going to do. I'm guessing it'll like ping me or something if you. I don't know. Yeah, I think the only thing I just want to make sure I don't miss questions for people who are like, hey, like, I need help with this, or, what does this do? And I won't be able to necessarily answer everything live. At the very least, you can post it in the Operations Sports forum. And if I have breaks at work, I usually will jump into that thread and kind of reply when I have a few minutes of downtime and things like that. So, or Twitter, same thing. You can always at me on Twitter. Mike Lowe 47 is the Twitter name. So anyway, let's keep going. So where are we at here? It is the slowest baseball game in history. We are in the top of the third inning. Brian Dozier. All right. Come on, Michael Fulmer. Got yourself a win here. If you can just be average. I mean, even slightly below average, you should get a nice win. Let's not test it. There you go. That's a nice pitch.
Down 0-2.
Catcher's always calling for this go too slow. Not throwing it well at all. Let's put this one in the dirt. You gotta keep them. The game is pretty smart. Like, if you keep the same patterns over and over, they will pick up on it. And that's really cool. A lot of sport games claim that, and most sport games do it, but this game's probably the best at it. Now I'm going to try that slider again.
The count is full. 3-2.
I'm going to stick with my best pitch.
Batting ninth, the catcher.
Ryan, you're awesome, man. Thanks for posting that. The slider thread there. That's super helpful. Yeah, I like streaming. I like chatting with people, but like I'm not a YouTuber. I'm very happy with my day job. I don't give a damn what I make off YouTube or anything. I probably make like 30 cents streaming videos, so I don't care. Now, who are we facing here? See, I'm not paying attention. Oops, I was supposed to go 3-0. Full effectiveness there. So, this sounds corny, but I'll try to make that up on a batter later. Like, I owe them that risky pitch.
Nope, that's upstairs.
Walked him anyway.
Ball 4.
First walk. I think he's got, what, 3 strikeouts? 3 or 4 strikeouts, 1 walk.
The right fielder, number 4, will...
Or like Ryan, if you want, like put the question like asterisks around it, like all caps or something. You could probably just copy paste if you're at your computer. So top of the order here. Gotta be careful though. We don't want this to turn 6-2 this early, especially with nobody out.
Ball, that's inside. Ball, that's down.
Come on, Mr. Fulmer. Oh, there it is. That wasn't a good pitch. Missed my spot. Well, inching closer. Wouldn't this be a shame if I score 6 runs and end up losing? Can smoke that. Michael Fulmer again, just struggling a little bit early this year. Most of it's me just not hitting the meter. Again, that's AI contact at 2 on Legend. I forget what their power is. I think their power is at 4, right? I think. I know their contact's at 2, because I was really, really nervous putting it at 2, but I actually think it's awesome on 2.
The center fielder, number 2, Trent Grisham.
Oh, it's at 5 power. Okay, thank you. Alright, so here we go. We have nobody out. Sorry, there's 1 out. Let's make sure that's all they get here. Still a really good start if we can keep it around 2 runs. Obviously.
Ball, that's out.
I think one of the most important things, he gave up that home run on the 2-seamer. So you'll take a confidence hit in that pitch. But to me, especially when it's early like this still, it's not like this is his last batter or something. I want to try to work the confidence back up for that pitch. Just put this low and outside.
Ball, that's out.
I'll come in with the slider, but try to throw it for a strike though. There we go.
Up next for the Padres, the left fielder, Tommy Pham.
2 outs. Pham's a good hitter. Alright, so I still owe them a full velocity pitch here, so I'm an honest man. Hey, look at that, it worked out.
Balls, 2 strikes.
And just the traditional high and low here.
The count is 1-2.
That was a terrible chase pitch, but Jake Rogers loves that slider outside. We'll try it. Hey, here we go. Good call. Question about pitch meter effectiveness. What is the difference if you don't press anything when the meter gets the red? I think, is that like it almost like, it's like a glitch, or if like your finger like slips off of it? I don't think it means anything, but I can say you can recover it. Like, I've had that happen, and then you can still hit, like, so you don't, let's see, I'm trying to do this because I'm not pitching right now. Let me pause it and play with the controller for a second. So, like, yeah, because, like, you kind of, like, when you pitch, you press X, and you're kind of holding it down, and then you let go for a second, right? I'm trying to, it's so weird, like, I can't think of, like, what I actually do. You just do it. But you can recover from those. So, like, you can actually hit it. Like, I think you can actually use meter pitching just by hitting X 3 times. You can start it, stop it, and then do the accuracy afterwards. Like, you don't have to technically hold it down, because I've done that before where I'm like, oh shit, like my finger slipped off. And then you can hit X when it's back up. I hope I am thinking about the right thing here. I know there's been a couple wonky things, but hopefully that makes sense. But I've had it too, and maybe you're talking about there's like that weird glitch where sometimes a pitcher, and this happened a lot in last year's game, I don't know if I've seen it this year, where like just no matter what you do, it just times out and like it goes to the start of the meter. I don't think I ever found a workaround other than like I would just kind of pause it. I would throw some like really aggressive pitches in the dirt just to try and get out of that, and it would eventually go away. So I don't know if it's that ladder. If it's the ladder thing I just talked about. I don't know how to get rid of that. Same pitcher, yeah, that Tyler Higgins.
Ball that's outside.
Big shift on here. If I can get an outside pitch, I'll try to put something out there, but otherwise I'm just looking to hit it hard somewhere.
Ball two.
It always seems like they throw a ton of balls, right? And I've seen some people like, I walk a lot, but like when you look at the post-game analysis, they don't. It's really weird because I feel it too. It definitely feels like, oh, it's too easy to get walks this year. But like the numbers match. So, like, it might be an issue of, like, batter 1, they throw all strikes. Batter 2, they throw all balls. Like, that could be happening, right? I mean, that's, kind of a lame scenario, but you get the idea. Like, it just, and again, maybe the pitcher effectiveness slider is impacting that a little bit too much. I'm trying to remember what we have that set at right now for the AI. But again, I'm middle of the road with walks, but maybe I should be lower. We're a pretty bad hitting team, so that's something to keep an eye on. Ooh, nope. Just doesn't have the power. That's the second fly ball that I've connected with pretty well.
Now batting, third baseman.
He's not going to benefit from power at 4. But he still has a home run. He hit a home run a couple games ago for us. Candelario, another player off to a cold start, but a pretty good defensive third baseman. I like when he's up with nobody on base because or I should say when there's nobody out, can try to put something out there, especially with his hot zones being on the outside like that. I waited too long there. Too long and way under it. I see that curveball and I just want to dive that cursor to try and get to it, but they're not all that low. You see that? That I tried to just hit it to left field. That ball came inside a lot more than I thought. It moved a lot more.
The catcher, number 34.
It still pulled it. But I like that. So this game, again, a lot of people talking about directional and zone. They obviously both use timing, but what's really cool is they both use the tendency too, right? So you can see Jake Rogers as a pull hitter. Candelario is either a pull or an extreme pull. I forget what they call it in this game because I play a lot of out of the park baseball too, and they call it different things. But they had to shift on for Candelario, obviously. And so even though I swung at that probably late by like MLB The Show default player X standards, it still pulled the ball because of his tendency. And that's I think that's really, really, really cool. And that's one of the reasons too. I have some people like, oh, you should increase pitch speed. You should increase pitch speed. I'm like, go for it. Like that's how you want to play, go for it. But to me, I want it to look realistic. I want some foul balls that are pulled past the third base coach and things like that. And I think these tendencies really, really help with that. I think it's a really cool feature in the game. Still in the third inning. This is the longest stream. No, spoke too soon. Oh, there's only, that's right, there's 2. Hey, we're in the 4th inning now. Eric, I know some people use pitch count, quick counts. It's a cool feature. I like the strategy behind an entire at bat. But I totally get where people would want to use it. Time's limited, other games you want to play, screaming baby in the background, whatever. There's a million reasons why that's a really, really cool feature. And again, that's the cool feature because it simulates the batter. Right? It's not just random. They don't just throw you know, Jamer Candelario is going to get more balls thrown his way than Victor Reyes, because he's just got better discipline, right? So it's implemented really well. At least when they introduced it. I don't use it, but whenever the year is they introduced that feature, it's really cool. I thought they did a really nice job. Let's try to get him to chase up here. Oh, that's a good chase pitch there. That previous inning was way too high. Here's Jake Rogers' outside slider here. He loves this pitch. That was a bad one. Okay, so we got to go full effect in this here. At least that's my little house rule. I'm going to try to change up kind of outside and maybe a little low. Oh, left it up. They missed. By the way, that's one of the best pitches to throw in Diamond Dynasty is an outside changeup. It's a pitch you have to be so patient on, right? Like, it's a changeup for number one, but it's outside. So, like, you can get people, I mean, just their time, I mean, they'll put it in play, but, like, the timing, that's what matters, right? You can get some really nice outs, just throwing a nice little outside changeup to people. And anywhere, up, down, it doesn't matter where. Their timing will be so messed up on it. Put this outside here. I don't think we have the shift on with Hosmer.
1-1.
Gardenhire in this game doesn't shift very much, nor in real life. Yeah, so we can pitch him outside. I've had some people ask too. I had a buddy. He used to just freak out at the Tigers. He'd get so mad when we'd have a shift on. The Tigers would have a shift on, and they'd pitch outside, right? And he's like, "What the hell's wrong with this pitching coach?" Like he hated Jim Leyland because he would do that. And I try to tell him, like, well, because the report says he still pulls that ball. He will still pull an outside pitch. So again, there's usually more layers to what people are seeing or what they think they're seeing, right? Yes, in theory, that's a bad play because he could hit that the opposite way and have the whole field, over here to hit wherever he wants, right? But there's a lot of players who will still, you can pitch him outside and they'll still hit it over here. And so, again, there's, stats will never lie to you. and there we go. He hits it the opposite way. And that's why our old school manager here is just awesome, right? He didn't put the shift on. He knew. Okay, so again, we don't want another inning here. We don't want to keep giving up 2 home runs. Energy's good. 60 pitches, though, already.
Ball, that's low.
Really, a good hitter like Machado, you want to just really, really focus on trying to hit that meter when you can. Don't be afraid to throw him strikes. Just don't throw him bad strikes.
Nope.
If you're going to miss, try to miss out. You don't always have a ton of control over that. In this game, yeah, that was a dangerous pitch. That's, again, another good pitch. The high changeup in Diamond Dynasty, it's ridiculous. It's like the high sinker, right? It's absurd in real life. But, the physics in this game are a little wonky sometimes. So he's really no confidence in that two-seamer. So for this at-bat, when my catcher's calling a two-seamer, I'm going to switch to even though it's less effective. There we go. Keep them in the yard. It's an interesting route to the fly ball there, Mr. Castro. Can you imagine a major league outfielder just casually ran back and spun, caught it over his shoulder. That's such a ridiculous play. That's at fielding speed on default too, so that is not a slider issue. It sounds like we're getting some big updates though with fielding. I hope it applies to the animations too. So we got 2 outs here. Still got to make good pitches. There we go. Fulmer got hit for that 2-run homer. It was not a good pitch, so it felt organic. So again, we gotta be really careful here, right?
The batter, number 9, second baseman, Brian.
Dozier's got some power too. He's 0 for 8 this series. Oh god, he's so due. 64 power. This is a good time for a little time to sit here. Gotta settle him down. I don't know the benefits of that. I honestly have no clue if that does anything, but it seems to. I will 100% admit it could just be placebo. I've never tracked it. I'm not even really sure if there'd be a super accurate way to do so, but I know it can impact our confidence. So I mean, it must have some kind of impact. And I'm guessing that sometimes it'll lower their confidence. I love that they fixed catcher defense this year. That was something I harped on a lot last year on Twitter. They had, I mean, it seemed like high school catching in this game, right? I mean, it was really bad. And Jake Rogers is not a very good catcher in this game. But for him to he makes most of the plays, and that's how it should be. And you have the elite catchers make some really special plays. Let's pitch him outside here. Oh, good. Glad he chased that. Full. I hit the meter perfect that time, so it helped. That's going to go inside, huh? I'm going to go kind of high and inside, but definitely put it up high. I'll just drop back in. Jake Rogers, I'm going to go back to your just patented outside slider here. They've all been chasing it. I bet you I could strike him out if I bust him up and in here. But let's try to change up a little. Alright, see if we can get it here. There we go. Whew. Alright. Homer, pitching pretty well. Glad he didn't give up a home run this time. Daniel, I think I'm randomly looking at stuff in the chat. I'm not just only picking out Daniel's comments, but they're always like the most recent ones. Guest pitch, I think it creates some bad habits. I think the evidence of that is can you even use it in Diamond Dynasty this year? I don't think you even can, but when you used to be able to use it in Diamond Dynasty, oh, those were the best games. When you saw someone using guest pitch, because you could just eat them alive. And just people having their mind made up before the pitch was thrown. And so again, I think it's a cool tool, and especially if you're more of a casual player, go use it for sure. But if you want to get better and you want probably the most realistic experience, it's not something I would recommend. But again, it's your game, play it how you want. But I do think it's going to create some bad habits for you, and it also penalizes you for when you guess wrong, right? So it's kind of a feast or famine sort of situation.
1-0.
I like these little game updates, like last game 0 for 4, but when? He didn't play, I don't know the last time Jordy Mercer played, it was probably 3 or 4 days ago. I like that they're there, I just wish they would expand on that a little bit. Like, again, I was playing NFL 2K5 today, right? They did this amazing cutscene to Joey Harrington, where it just, in the middle of like the second quarter, it showed like, hey, here's this 8 passes he's thrown, and it broke it down by the regions, like deep left, short left, deep right, deep middle. And it just, in the middle of the game, it's like, oh, he has 78 yards so far, or whatever. And it's just like, God, that's awesome. Like, why isn't that in a game today? And this game's got some of that stuff. Like, they got the stat tracker or whatever it's called. But, look at the Heidi Watney thing, for instance, how bad that is. How bad is 2020? And even the Chris Berman show at halftime in NFL 2K, like, it's corny and he looks like a goofball animated, but, like, it's so good. It's so much better. So much better. It was actually 16 years ago. 16. Some of you watching this may have not even been alive when that game came out. That's insane.
2 balls, no strikes.
Alright, well, Jordy Mercer, just a little single. That's all we need here. That was a good pitch, but no reason to... Didn't feel like I was going to make good contact, so...
I got 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Jordy Mercer's 2 for 2 today. 1 pitch only, that's the only thing I'm looking for. Yeah. Not a bad pitch. Better hitter that probably would have got
right
down.
fielder, number 30, Harold.
So let's start. Seven for 26, just in relief time, basically. Harold Castro. I love when you find players like this, though. It's pretty cool. Some guy that, you know, probably not doing jack for anybody else, but he's just been, you know, just a really good hitter. But very early, still in the first month here. Ooh, I feel like I definitely swung at that. That might be a contact 6, bailing me out there. I'm used to 5. Pitch. At least I'm laying off it now, though. I'm not looking up there. Now I will. With 2 strikes, I'll look up a little bit more. I have to remember to adjust the bullpen slider here next inning or so. 5th or 6th inning.
I got to count 2-2.
That gonna drop? Hey, that one dropped. Go, 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 go. Oh, nice slide.
Up next for the Tigers.
Now, so that's cool. That was pretty much, that was the exact same range as the one that he caught, right? I mean, that was almost the exact same play. That one booted off his glove. I love that they have more of those this year. Because, you know, it really is kind of 50-50.
Yeah.
Especially for an average fielder. All right. A little something right center field. Or left center field. Gosh, dang it. I just did it again. Fielder speed at 5.
Number 8.
That's definitely down on 4.
Got us there. Go.
Usually don't see this many diving plays, so this is not a normal thing. I'm just looking at FAM's ratings here. Oh yeah, he's a super good outfielder, so that's cool. I'm fine with that. One for 9. Man on second. There we go. I have to keep him at first. Yeah.
Now batting, the designated hitter, CJ Lowe.
Ryan, we talked about this on your podcast, right? This ball down in the corner. Ryan's Long Gone podcast. Check it out on Spotify, a bunch of other places that I'm forgetting because I just used Stitcher for my podcast. But we talked about this very thing on his podcast. I said, you know, one of the things I really like to see in this game is more dirty baseball, especially on balls that hit into the corner. Because, like, we've all seen the game, right? Where this ball's hit into the corner, and, oh, man, the bat boy is going to run out of the way, and he has to move the chair, and this ball, like, it never bounces off the wall like this, right? It sits there. It hits, and maybe it spins in a circle for a second, or they come over, and as the guy picks it up, it's still spinning, so it falls out of his hand, or it's, you know, the player has to be really, really cautious because this ball's, say if it's rolling up here, he knows it's going to hit, and so he has to wait. But, like, these, like, they're just too clean. These corner plays are just too clean. I mean, look at that. Like it's like he plays here every night, right? This is an interleague game. I mean, Tommy Pham played in the American League, but it's not like he knows Comerica Park's, inner workings. I mean, look at this. He runs right to where it's going to be. And I'm curious, like, if I'm playing this ball, I mean, I'll be totally honest, if I'm playing this ball, I'm running this way. Like, I'm out here, right? Because that ball's moving. I don't know if it's going to hit that wall. I mean, look at that thing. I mean, that's a triple if it just keeps going by him. That's just so ridiculous. And, sorry, there's no slider that's going to fix that. And now it's a single. But fix bullpen AI first. I can live with that. We can create more doubles elsewhere in the sliders. And some of those plays are singles in real life. Definitely, especially slower runners. But just that like weird, perfectly clean ball into a corner. It's just, they're never clean into a corner. Oh, still swung earlier. I knew that was a changeup. And quit giving the ball boys beards. They're boys. It's so creepy. Alright, went after that. Nice play. Not every shortstop makes that play. That's reaction at 4. Obviously fielder speed comes into play there too. Hey, Tiger bats finally. Getting some bats going. Oh my god, 2 hours into this already. Ryan, sorry, I don't know Ryan's most recent question. These are for Legend, but you can certainly use them on Hall of Fame. Again, the difficulty levels do a pretty good job. It's not like all Madden or something. Let's skip over this. It's not like an all Madden situation where it's like, oh god, suddenly they're all on steroids and crazy. The difficulties don't work like that in this game. So you can definitely adjust down or up. I guess Legend you can't go beyond, but yeah, you can definitely adjust down. I hope that's the only other question.
Leading off for the Padres.
Try to keep this game going so my wife doesn't leave me for playing this game for too long. 73 pitches, 74 right down the middle. But he's got really good stamina, so I mean, I'd like him to go at least 6. Probably 6 today. But I don't know, 75 pitches. That's pretty high already.
2 balls, 1 strike, to count.
Striking guys out today. It's nice playing the Padres. They are the worst team in this franchise for me. They're the worst offense. And it's neat to see, like, it's translating into a played game. I mean, my offense has been pretty bad. Theirs is really bad. Top of the order here. I've thrown him 2 balls in both of his at-bats. That's 3 in a row. So I haven't thrown the first pitch strike this whole game. Uh-oh. Not a good pitch. Not a good swing either.
The center fielder, number 2, Trent Grisham.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for watching. A reminder, I'm going to be streaming Head Coach 09 for PS3. I mean, I know everyone and their girlfriends have been waiting for that stream. But that game's pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited, and I figured with us not being able to go out and really do much of anything these days, what better time to stream probably it's certainly one of my favorite football games. I think it's probably the one that holds up the most, even though you can't play it. It's just kind of like a straight gameplay sim. But it's pretty awesome, and I'm hoping to get that set up to stream Wednesday. It'll probably replace this stream for this week. We'll just kind of see how things go. But check it out. It's a pretty awesome game. Hit hard, but right at our right fielder. Good job, Fulmer. No, the questions are good. I just thank you for asking the questions, and for Ryan help moderate. I always feel bad, and like it's weird because like these don't show up later, right? Like they're not like the comments you'd post on the video, and I always thought they did. So I was like, oh, I'll go back. But when I go back, there's like only comments like post-mortem comments, basically. Same pitcher, so well, we'll get to the fifth. That's fine. Feels closer, maybe. I think that was going to be a curveball. Christian Stewart's going to get a steak tonight. Grand slam earlier.
Hey. 1-1.
$90-mile-an-hour fastball, so I'm ahead of that.
Two balls, two strikes.
Good pitch. See, there it is. Outside changeup. It's hard to hit.
Up next
it's just hard not to swing early at it, because one, you have to recognize it's a changeup, slow your swing, and then it's outside, so you have to slow it even more. I'm telling you, it's a great pitch. If you guys play Diamond Dynasty, I don't really play it a whole lot. It's a great pitch, though. Travis Demerit's had some nice... Well, I guess, no, they were fly balls more than line outs. Yeah, 2 fly outs, but, he squared them up, I guess is what I'm trying to say. He squared them up nice. I'd like to get some more runs. I'd really like to get the bullpen some time off today. We don't have an off day this week, so this is kind of our off day here, this Sunday day game.
The batter, the third baseman,
Mario. It's finally hitting over 200 for the season. He still gets some nice walks, though. Decent slugging for that low of an average. He'll come around.
Ball 1. Count 1-0.
Ooh, I thought that was a curveball.
1-1.
I was just trying to hit that at the left field.
Next count 2-2.
I think it's going to foul. Yep. That felt right. That felt perfect. And as soon as I hit that, I thought it was foul. Ooh, I couldn't get up there. It's going to drop though? Nope.
Leading off for the Padres, the left fielder, Tommy Pham.
Oh, alright, so Fulmer's at 85 pitches. Just in case he gets into, I would like him to pitch this inning. And if he gets into a little trouble, there's no reason to play around. So I don't need to go too conservative here. I would like to bring Nova in at some point, but obviously not if we're in trouble. So Nick Ramirez is actually been pitching better for us. So just in case we need these guys, but I would really like Fulmer to get through this here. I miss Comerica Park. I've been there so long. But I also I've always just really liked watching games on TV. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's great to go to a game. I mean, I love just going to Petco. I mean, shoot, we used to just go and get food, just hang out. It's always fun. It's one of the things my wife and I talk about, like just things we're missing during this quarantine and stay-at-home stuff going on. It's just like going to a baseball game, you know, and especially now the weather's starting to get better, and it's nice. I'm trying to go like high and outside here.
Nope, that's a ball.
Just really just want to avoid patterns too much, right? Stay outside here.
Yep, that ball went out.
Movement, like on a slider here, movement's always good against power hitters.
Ball, that's outside.
In most cases, and they say movement's kind of the biggest limiter. If the pitcher has good movement, right, they're going to be able to keep the ball in the park a little bit more. It's obviously just harder to square up.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't do that full effectiveness thing. It's hard to keep my focus today. Like, I'm trying to see the chat, I'm trying to talk about sliders and whatnot. I need to do like it's like Breaking Bad, right? I need to do like Talking Bad afterwards. Like, just play the game and then afterwards be like, hey, let's talk about that game. But then my wife would definitely leave. It'd be like 5 hours. I got my wife to play a little bit of video games during this quarantine. We were working on a city and City Skyline. It's a pretty good city, I must say.
Off the plate, ball one.
It's weird. Like, I mean, we've been playing like Monopoly Deal, like it's a card game. It's actually really, really fun. And this is like, I hate Monopoly. Like, no one likes Monopoly, the board game, right? It's miserable. But like Monopoly Deal, the card game, pretty awesome. And I actually have it for PlayStation 4 too. It's like $5. It's a good hit. 96 pitches here. I really want to get him that, probably start though, even though it's a pointless stat. But come on, Michael.
The batter, the third baseman, Manny.
We got some guys coming up here, huh? Mound visit, his confidence is very high. I gotta let him go. I was walking Machado a lot this series. Obviously, with a 5-run lead, we're not going to here. There we go. So we'll try to use some movement here, as I was talking about. Just don't want to give up a home run here. This slider, I'm going to just put a little inside in the dirt. Just kind of... Oops. Yeah, so he's missing his spots now. He's getting tired. I don't know if I want to throw him fastballs or not. Let's see.
Ball.
This will be his last batter, though. That much, I would say.
Ball 3. Count is 3-1.
Alright. Okay, good. I'm glad the AI wasn't... They've been really aggressive running bases, and I was like, if they send a guy with 28 speed down by 5 runs, I'm going to quit playing this game.
Naylor.
So I'm very glad they didn't do that. Look at Manny's hair flashing through. Okay, so problem with bringing in the lefty is if he doesn't get Naylor out. Dozier worries me a little bit. So I'm actually going to bring in Daniel Bard. Sorry, Fulmer. We don't care about quality starts. Who cares? It's like wins for a quarterback, right? Who the hell cares? Or people telling me, or people saying Matthew Stafford's not a good quarterback, he's never won a playoff game. Like, he plays for the Lions. Do you know what that means?
Your attention, please.
He might never win a playoff
Now
game.
for the Tigers.
He'll still be in the Hall of Fame.
Number 51, Daniel Bard.
So first and third here, 2 outs. We're not worried about shenanigans or anything. Diamond Dynasty, you should always be worried about first and third shenanigans, though. And you should take advantage of it yourself. It's the easiest time if you do I've talked about this a million times over the years, but first and third, steal the guy, and I don't care what his speed is, steal the guy in first, fake a bunt, show bunt, and pull back, he will just freeze. It is like 95% of, I've only been thrown on, I think, one time ever in Diamond Dynasty doing that. For whatever reason, people just freeze. I don't know if maybe the game freezes them or something, I'm not sure, but first and third, steal your guy in first, show bunt, and your guy will just walk in the second, and the catcher will just sit there. Ooh. Well, if we're going to bring in the lefty, that's our second hit batter.
The batter, number 9.
Oh, Grand Slam would make this
Ryan
rather interesting, huh?
Dozier.
I'll definitely try to stick to his blue zones here. Well, yeah.
Nope.
Okay, slider instead. Okay, it's got pretty low contact against righties. Got good power though. So I will throw him a fastball, but it's going to be way up. Way up. Why not? Well, they've been fighting on this all day. Let's go full effectiveness here. On that same slider. There we go. Nice having a guy with 96 K rating in your bullpen. And that's all I need Daniel Bard for. He's done. I think he's playing in the top 12 in the league.
The catcher.
But I'm probably biased, but...
Roger.
Okay, so let's think bullpen. It could be Von Nova time here. Especially if we score some more. But yeah, I'm okay going. Even though he pitched like 3 days ago as a starter. A new pitcher. Drew Pomeranz making his second stint with the Padres, right? His K per 9 rating. I hate cutters. They're so slow. Oh, and then you get that one. He's in 8 miles an hour faster. Same spot.
Yep, I got him. First base.
3 hit batters this game.
The
2 by
batter,
us,
number
1 by 1.
9. Shortstop, Jordy Mercer.
I'm thinking, oh, these sliders aren't hard. Jordy Mercer's got stat line like that, but he is one of the exceptions for sure.
Count 1-0.
So with nobody out here, I'm not really worried about bunting. Trying to hit it the right field, right? Ooh, some way too early instead of play. So again, right, the breaking ball outside, at least it is for me. It's hard. Especially when the guy's throwing 96.
Now batting. The right
That's a
fielder.
smart pitch.
Farrell.
Got a way we can put those up to how we usually do now that they're into bullpen innings here.
Leading off for San Diego, the catcher, Francisco Mejia. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Now pitching for the Tigers, number 43, Ivan Nova.
So Daniel's question about strikeouts, how many strikeouts per game would you say is a realistic amount? I wouldn't count strikeouts. I would count the number of misses on total pitches that are swung at. Again, if you're too focused on, I mean, how do you explain it? Like, obviously you're going to look at strikeouts, right? But like, that doesn't necessarily tell you the whole picture. As far as, especially when sliders are concerned, because some games you might have only like 2 strikeouts by your starting pitcher. But over the course of a season, if you're getting, the proper swings and misses, that's going to balance out, or should. The caveat with that is this game gets very conservative when it has 2 strikes, and that's one of the reasons why we put contact down. It's one of the reasons why like effectiveness and consistency are down, so that on the non-2 strike pitches you're at more of a risk, right? You might get punished there a little bit, and they'll still punish you. I feel like it's probably a little bit better this year. They're not so contacty as before with 2 strikes, but again, to give you like, I mean, and that number it keeps ticking up. But I guess to give you a number, I mean, you look at a lot of pitchers and like they have the K per 9 rating, right? So, and they're going to be different. They're going to be different based on who the starter is. They're going to be different versus a relief pitcher, and even the same pitcher. If I were to take, Matthew Boyd, right? He's got a pretty good K per 9. Now, if I put him in the bullpen, his K per 9 is going to go up. I can't see stats in this mode or inside of a game here, but it's going to go up because he is pitching. He's able to use more of his effectiveness, right? And this is why, I mean, in real life, same thing. Relief pitchers, if you have a guy who, who's been a starter and a relief pitcher, they're almost always, there's probably some rare exceptions, but they are almost always better relief pitchers because they're able to, first off, they're brought in really almost always advantageous situations for them, right? Lefty on lefty, and this is before this year's new rule change and things like that. But so anyway, just a long way of saying it really depends on the pitcher. In a video game, it also depends on you, the player, right? Are you using meter? Are you hitting the meter? Are you too sporadic with the meter? Because like I said, I have trouble pitching with certain guys' windups. Like I have trouble with Boyd, and I have trouble with who's the other one? Oh, Fulmer a little bit, but definitely Boyd. I'm terrible pitching with him, and he's been bad. He only has, we looked at it earlier, 16 strikeouts in however many innings he's pitched. He's just been bad, right? So, I would say, in today's day and age, it's, and I'd have to look it up to give you an exact number. My guesstimate, and I don't like to just guess, but it's pretty damn close to like 1 an inning. It's pretty close, especially nowadays with everybody swinging with the increase in home runs and kind of the feast and famine swinging. But again, not every guy. I mean, there's guys who are going to average 6 per 9. There's relievers, you know, there's relievers who average 14 Ks per nine. You know, I mean, there's, you know, things like that. So, or even more. So, yeah, it just really depends. But again, if you're getting good swing and miss, and we're going to look at that at the end of the game here, but if we're getting good swing and miss percentages, you'll be good. All right, moving on here. So we put Ivan Nova in. Just throw strikes, Mr. Nova. That'll work.
Got him.
Ivan Nova, pitch well so I can trade you.
Will Myers.
Top of the order. See if we can finally throw him a first pitch strike. Alright, we did it. Try to come inside. If we hit a third batter, what are they going to do?
Ball, that's in.
They have trouble with high curveballs. Let's see. There we go. Fly ball. That's all I want. Just give me some easy fly balls. Let my speedy outfielders go catch them.
Grisham.
You hit it on the ground. It's kind of like, right, the whole like notion of like passing in football, how like only one good thing can happen on a pass. And again, that's a very old-fashioned way, but like, you know, on a ground ball, it's got to be fielded, it's got to be thrown, and it's got to be caught. You know, obviously in the majors, you don't really see too many dropped balls at first base, but weak fly ball, good outfielders, you'll be set. So here's a ground ball. That's the problem. Got you out though.
Ladies and gentlemen,
What do you throw, 4 pitches, 5 pitches?
Seventh inning stretch.
Well, Nova's going to stay in. Miguel Cabrera's starting to keep some numbers up, but just no power really
The
this year.
first baseman, Miguel Cabrera.
So it's interesting, right? I got shut out by this team. Same exact sliders the game before. We lost 4-0 or 3-0.
That's ball two.
Not a single slider was changed between those two games. Get down.
Now batting, the second baseman, got us there. Go!
Nice cutter. Nope, bad swing. Really bad swing at that. That's contact at 6. I swung early, rolled over to the shortstop. And
the designated hitter.
That's perfect. Hit it hard.
DJ
He's got power, so
Lowe.
that felt very nice. Even though I got out.
That's a ball.
This guy's 0 for just, I don't even know when. Just can't get any hits with this guy.
Ball.
He's pretty damn good against lefties too. Look at that. 87 power. Ooh.
2 balls.
A little too late.
1 strike.
Nice swinging. Oh.
2-2 down.
Thought that was coming right over on the slider or the cutter. That one's weird. I had the cursor up high. I must have dropped it when I swung. But like even before the pitch, I had the cursor like up in the zone. Like that's exactly what I was looking for. Just swung under it.
Leading off for the Padres, the left fielder, Tommy Pham.
Yeah, it's very long. Let's see how this outfielder plays it. Hey, same exact place.
Now batting, the shortstop,
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Oof. Not where I wanted that. Thank you for cutting that off.
now batting, the first baseman,
Alright, over.
Eric Hosmer.
To the end of you.
That's a ball. One ball, one
Tigers
strike.
team will head to Yankee Stadium for the next series. Starting tomorrow. So by the time I stream this next, well, and again, I don't think I'm going to stream this one on Wednesday because I want to, if I can get it all set up in time, I want to start streaming that Head Coach 09 franchise,
Manny,
which again will be super interactive. Like I want it to be like a kind of like a group decision making thing. I think it'll be really cool. But I might stream that Wednesday this week. But I'll keep up with this franchise as well. This is usually my lunch breaks. Usually, not always. Just deciding if I even want him to keep pitching. Let's see. How's that bullpen looking? Yeah, I'll let him go. I'd like him to finish the game, but I don't want him in any trouble. Shit. Oh, at least it stayed in the park and that runner wasn't running for some reason. That's the score. Oh, he hit that. He smoked that.
now batting, the designated hitter, Josh Naylor.
That might be the farthest ball I've seen the AI hit that wasn't a home run. Their jerseys kind of look like Buffalo Wild Wings. No, it's that same predicament, but I'm going to trust Joe Jimenez here. But damn, Dozier's got power. This is a tough inning to actually get out of. You know what? I mean, look at righty's batting, or .033 against him. He's got a good home run per 9. So, where are the runners at right now? Just second, right?
Your attention, please.
One more
Now
playing around.
pitching for the Tigers, number 65, Xavier Cedeno.
Oh, 2 is the count. The count is 1 and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes.
The batter, number 9, second baseman, Brian Dozier.
Uh-oh. Oh, see, there's where I like auto fielding. That was like legit drama. I thought that was gone. I wonder where the wind's at. Let's check on that. So Craig Stamen coming in today. Ah, look at the wind, right? That wind saved that. That was, like, looking at the size of the shadow when he hit that, that was gone. And that thing just stayed in. And that's power at 5, the AI. He caught that on the warning track, didn't he? Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, that is like a few feet. That's the wind on default. People are talking about the wind this week in the slider thread. I like it at 5. It wasn't overpowered, but I did notice it. That's pretty cool. Just kind of, you know, unless we get a lead, then we'll probably go to Alex Wilson. I should say, once we scored another run here. There's that Buffalo Wild Wings jersey. Look at that. It seriously looks like something we wear at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Nope, ball 1. I got to count 1 and 2. I got to count 2 and 2.
Oh, swung under that. Damn, that was a good pitch to hit to left field.
Now batting, center fielder, Travis Demerick.
Hey! Nope, that's inside.
In the 8th inning, with a 3-run lead, just assume you're losing. I mean, score. You want to try to score. Sounds very obvious, but it's very easy to just want to kind of speed through it. The next thing you know, it's 7-7 or 9th or something like that.
Now batting, third baseman, Jamer Candelario.
Pitch, but it's not where I'm looking. I'm actually just looking to hit it to left field here. Try to get him on base. Not anymore.
One ball, two strikes.
Getting down.
Now batting, catcher, Jake Rogers.
Whoa, that's kicked out.
You can throw the slider yet. Probably see it right here. Yep. Yeah.
The count is 1 and 2. Now,
So the slider looks just like a knuckle curve. They're very similar pitches. The slider's a little quicker. If you can kind of lump pitches into buckets, right? It really simplifies your at bat. Ooh. I simplified my own at bat. Alright, let's close it out.
Leading off for the Padres, the catcher, Francisco Mejia. Your attention, please.
It's been just
Now pitching for
friggin'
the
ridiculous for us.
Tigers, number 30.
Knock on wood. Always knock on wood.
This time we know.
Probably a guy we'll look to trade, potentially. Well, it's going to be the top of the order after this guy, so. We definitely don't want to put him on base. See if there's any defensive says. We got a lot of guys tired, so with a 3-run lead, I'm not going to sweat it too much, so we're okay. There we go. 2 quick strikes. This guy just carves through people.
I got the count 1 and 2.
The right fielder, number 4, will...
Not bad for kind of a bad team. Every win we get, we have to scratch out. That's really what that means. And saves are one of the most important stats to sell off in a trade. They, again, don't really mean a whole damn lot. Create closers in your system and sell them off before you have to pay them. That's my suggestion for really most bullpen arms. Even your best bullpen guys aren't I mean, barely producing over 2 WAR in a season. A lot of your strong closers are like, you know, or not closers, relief pitchers, I say, in general, but even closers probably are, you know, 1.5 WAR kind of people. And it's like they say WAR usually equates to about $6 million, like 1 WAR. So I mean, if you're paying a relief pitcher, you know, even to get 1.5 WAR, you're talking what, $9 million a year for a relief pitcher. It's a lot.
Outside.
It's funny when that meter little yellow part gets bigger, I have more trouble hitting it. I don't know if anyone else does. Look at that. Thing's the size of a kite. I can't hit it.
One ball, two strikes.
Alright, sure. Let's go out there again.
That's ball two. Two balls.
We'll look at post-game stats here after the game, assuming I can close it out. Fouled that one off. This Cayeno, man, just carves people up for me.
The center fielder.
I mean, it's weird. He's, we're not a very good team, but he's just been automatic. It's like we play 8-inning games when we have a lead, and really Cedeno's so good too. It's almost like 7-inning games. Padres have been a little bit like that the last year. They've been really heavy on getting back in bullpen guys in real life. It's a smart strategy. I mean, again, if you can take away those innings, but again, it usually costs teams more money than it's worth. Again, just statistically speaking, talking about WAR, things like that. It feels good though, right? I mean, it always feels good to have guys that can shut your things down, or shut a couple innings down, but if you're a team that's tight on cash, I mean, it's probably a luxury you can't afford.
The count is 1-2.
Alright, Miss Cayeno, let's throw something nasty here. Ooh, got him to chase it. His contact area. Now that's a good foul ball. See if I can catch him sleeping here. Oh, left it over the middle. So I was trying to put that kind of backdoor him. It's coming in. Oh, not a triple. Good. Again, I'm glad they didn't risk it. Unnecessary risk.
The left fielder, Tommy Pham.
Even in a one-run game, I mean, with his speed, he's going to score on a single most likely, so that's probably not a risk worth taking. This Cayeno don't care.
Oh, that's good.
Come on, guys. Tying run, coming to the plate.
The batter, the shortstop,
Oh, Jesus.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
I'm going to throw the first sinker here. I do not care about the runner on first too much. Oh, damn. Wow, I hung that pitch. Thank God. He's a breaking ball hitter, too. That was scary. Well, let's look at some of the post-game. So,
here now is our final line.
oh, we only lost one guy this game, huh?
First for the victorious.
That's not always the case for me, at least. I know some. I
no errors. They left
will definitely throw some pitches out of the zone.
For the Padres, 5 runs.
But they chased a lot, as you guys saw. So anyway, I'm pulling up the batting average ball and play calculator here.
Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 26 minutes.
So, this is for the Padres, so they had 10 hits.
Thank you for joining us
They
here
had
this
one home
afternoon.
run,
And we remind you to please
37 at bats,
safely.
11 strikeouts, which will lower their batting average ball and play. Less balls are put in the play there. And sack fly, they have one? No. So they're 243, so they're a little bit low. Which is really surprising. Just making sure I put that in right. Oh, yeah, but it's just because of the inflated strikeouts, that's why. Because 11 or 10 hits, and 37 at bats. Yeah, I mean, close to 40 at bats, so yeah, that makes sense. So power numbers, they actually hit 4 doubles and a home run, so there was no problem with them generating slugging. Starting pitcher cost them that game. Bullpen did okay. Bullpen pitched how most of my Tiger games go. Just scratching out runs when we can. We only struck out 3 times today. Oh my god. That's a surprise. I've been, like some of you, like in like the mid to high 30% swing and miss range lately, so maybe I'm getting a little bit better. I can, for me, consider going back down to contact 5. But for now, it's okay, because again, I got shut out the game before on 6 against Paddock, so I mean, this isn't a very offensive team. So our batting average ball in play will probably be pretty high for today. So we had 10 hits, 1 home run, just 33 at bats, and only 3 strikeouts. It's going to bring it way up. Sack fly. Oh, ours is super low. 220. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, anyway. 3 doubles, home run. So very similar power numbers between the 2 teams. 3 hit by pitches this game. That's interesting. Fulmer pitched really well, finally. Nova pitching like a long reliever with like 40 contact rating that he has, with a 40 hits per 9 rating. Oh, as usual, excuse me. Bullpen does a good job. Vizcaino gives up a run, but still closes it out. So we'll take it. So here are some of the, again, analysis that we'd like to look at. 62% total strikes. It's good. It's pretty average. First pitch strikes really high. Really high, especially for it not being your ace. That's I shouldn't say it's really high. It is slightly high. For an ace, if this was your ace pitching, your number 1 starter, that's pretty standard, even a little bit higher, like sometimes even in like 71 range for an ace. And again, it's not every game. If you don't have that, it doesn't mean something's broken. It's just we're talking about like over the course of like an entire season kind of thing. That's a lot of times where you'll see a true ace, not just necessarily a number 1 starter, but an actual ace will pitch in the high 60s for sure, low 70 first pitch strike a lot of times. And that's just because a lot of their pitches have a lot of movement. They're hard to hit. It's not like they're just more accurate all the time. They're generating more strikes kind of naturally. Padres 61%, 50 with the way their starter went. I'm surprised that's not lower. These are always pretty good out of the box. I don't ever have to really adjust those numbers. They are pretty good. So the Padres, this is where we do have to do a lot of adjusting. Foul ball, 17%. That's good, as you all probably know by now. 15 is about the average on total pitches. Again, roughly, right? 15% of all pitches are fouled off, typically in an MLB game. Tigers 17, so again, both teams within that range. I never sweat a couple percent, especially because last game I think both teams were low. Again, it's over the course of many games. And then pitches that were swung at, they were at a total of missed. They had 18% and strikeout 12, so that's a total of 30%. So they swung and missed 30% of any, or what am I trying to say? But the total number of pitches that they swung at, they missed 30% of them. That's a little high, but we saw them chasing a ton today. And I think some of that was just Fulmer had a good effectiveness day. He just rolled the dice, worked out for Fulmer at the start of this game. Hey, mine was in a realistic threshold for the first time in forever. 25% is still a little bit high. 21 or so is, again, ballpark average the last few years. And I guess I shouldn't use ballpark as a phrase there. It's gonna probably throw people off. You know what I mean? It's kind of an average there, 25%. It's a little bit high. So numbers look really good. The batting average ball in plays were low. But hey, these are still, even though they scored some runs today, these are still 2 really, really bad teams. We will do one last quick thing here. Let's see if we get the scouting report on that player that we looked at in the very beginning. Let me save this first, though, just in case. By the way, if you haven't given in the vault, give our sliders a like if you've downloaded them and they're working out for you. Give them a nice upvote or whatever they call it in this game. That's always appreciated. So we have our sliders set, so we can advance. Oh, I do have an off day tomorrow. Nice. I forgot all about that. Alright. That's cool. Devalugo. He's in AAA. He's a guy. He's probably going to be one of my first call-ups. A few days. Just keep active. Press R3 to shut that thing up. Alright. So, let's see. We did not get the scouting report back, but we probably have a little bit more information on him. Phil Ham's still not done yet, huh? 65-80. Still not a bad player, though. He's dropping a little bit. But again, there's still ways to go. And I don't really have a great positional scout. So, like, who knows how even accurate this is. His range did increase, so that's a bit of a bummer. But, like I said, I still think at this point, I would go with Charles Dawson. The Evolution Man. Because I always want to call him Charles Darwin. That's going to be his nickname. The Evolution of Baseball. Alright, well, I think that about wraps it up. I think the next time I stream it will be Wednesday at some point. It'll be Wednesday at 7. I just don't know if it's going to be this game or it's going to be NFL Head Coach 09. But follow me on Twitter, Michael47, and you'll get those details as soon as I know. It's supposed to arrive in the mail Tuesday, so as long as the crazy thing works and I can get the PS3 streaming, I'd like to do the head coach one on the eve before the draft. I figured that'd be really cool. So if you have ideas for that stream, let me know. If you got questions, again, big thanks to Ryan for moderating today. And yeah, check out the details on Operation Sports. That's where you can get all the details on the sliders. As I mentioned, you can follow me on Twitter. You can also find me on the SSG, the simsportsgaming.com Discord. If you go to our site, you'll see a link there to that. And we're always looking for people to write content to or produce videos like this. We're always, the whole idea behind that website is just a place for people who play franchise mode games can come together, just shoot the shit, right? I mean, just talk about their leagues, talk about their strategy, their dynasty reports if they want to write stuff up. I mean, there's all kinds of different things. Of course, we have leagues going on there. Console leagues like Madden, PC leagues like Out of the Park Baseball, Front Office Football. We have openings in the Front Office Football League I mentioned earlier. So anyway, check us out. Ask questions if you got them. I will give a quick look to the chat just to make sure I missed something. But I see everybody's kind of signing out here anyway. So let's see. Nope, doesn't look like it. So, okay, well, thanks. Oh, why auto field? There is a question. Why auto fielding? Just because the fielding's terrible in this game, especially in the outfield. So that's why. I would love to use manual fielding. I mean, I want to play the game, but it's just so frustrating to put this time into a league like this and to have it get messed up for something like that. So, I don't think I missed any other questions. But anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you Wednesday. Thanks, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. I forgot to mention that. That helps too. So, thanks, everybody. See you next time.